Hey, deserving listeners, 90 Day Fiancé, let's watch.
So what do you think?
I never had just like this sickness in my life that just I'm scared, just.
I don't want to freak out. I want to just talk to my mom. I want to ask her, like, what does she think? What is the deal? Like.
Okay, so they just found out that their child has a hernia and needs surgery quickly, soon. And the father, Biniyam, is expressing that he's scared. He's like, I've never heard this before. It's kind of scary, surgery. And for her, she seems scared, but she's saying, I don't want to be scared. I just want to figure this out. I want to talk to my mom, who is a medical professional, and her father, for that matter. She wants to get some advice, and yeah, makes sense. Consult with a family member. And but the worry I have is that they won't be able to listen to each other during this tense time. There's some natural tension that can exist in a situation like this, but it's very important that when parents go through events like this, that they slow down, they listen to each other, they respect each other, they assert their own needs in a way that speaks from the heart. But I don't think these two are. They don't have a track record of being able to have that conversation. So let's watch.
I think that it could be a possibility that we need to take him to the U.S.
I don't want if he going for a small thing for like he's living there, like.
I don't.
Okay, so she's saying, and I think this is an ongoing tension between the two of them. She's saying, look, we might have to bring him to the States because I don't know if I trust. I mean, it's implied, and maybe she said this directly, but she didn't say it right here. I don't trust physicians in Ethiopia, which I find to be kind of strange because my impression from watching this show is the medical professionals in Ethiopia are great. I don't know that, but and as a non-medical person myself, I don't know the risks of surgery for hernia for infants. I imagine it's not insignificant, but yeah, it makes sense that for her, she would say, if we have the means, then maybe we want to think about having the child sent to this, or we'll all go to the States, so we'll do surgery over there, just to, really, this is our child. We want to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure our child is safe and healthy. And if that means paying extra money, for flights and for physicians in the States, then that's what we'll do. And then he says, I don't think we need to do that for such a little thing. All right. So I don't think either one of them thinks it's a little thing. So why would he be minimizing it? Well, I suspect he is suspicious whenever she talks about going to the States because he's worried he's never going to see his kid again because that's what happened with his ex-wife. And from my memory, she has threatened more than once to do just that if he isn't a good husband to her, which I find to be deplorable threat. To threaten because from my impression is that she has privilege and power, and she knows she can take their child and make it so that he will never see his child ever again. I think she knows that she has that power, she has the money, she has the political power, she has that gate, that she can come to Ethiopia, but he can't come to the States necessarily. Anyway, so I wonder if that's a factor where he's like, she's going to go to the States. That's triggering for me. Who knows? I also think he probably feels it's insulting to Ethiopian culture, to say that physicians out here can't do this procedure and probably an ongoing hurt that he's had. But instead of saying that, he minimizes it, which I'm sure isn't going to go over to tell her, look, this is just a little thing. It's just a surgery on his groin. His intestines are coming out. It's no big deal. I don't think that's going to fly with her. Let's see what she says.
I don't feel like this is a small thing, baby.
Right. I don't think this is a small thing. And then he rolls his eyes. So this is not going well. To roll your eyes is to be contemptuous. It's to be immature, for that matter. It's to put someone down, discount someone, So you're saying, oh boy, here we go again. You and your stupid things. Instead of the two of them, what could I imagine the two of them saying? She could say, look, I'm sorry that this could come across as insulting to Ethiopia, but I am so terrified. I just want to consult with my parents and maybe go over some options. And if we do stay in Ethiopia, I really want to make sure that the physician knows what they're doing. And I'm sorry about that. I'm not trying to insult Ethiopia. I'm not trying to be annoying, but it would just make me feel so much better if we did those things. Often with her, I am thinking if you said something like that, it would go over so much. You could still get what you want. You could still say, look, hard line in the stand. I am not going to budge on this. You can do that, but you can make it go over more easily if you have these kind of caveats. Now, from his standpoint, what he could say is, look, I think that you overreact to the threats in Ethiopian culture and the medical science. We had a C-section with you, and that worked out fine. So, I'm guessing that everything will work out here. Plus, when you talk about going to the States, I'm terrified I'm never going to see my kid again. So, now what I would recommend that he do in this moment is say, okay, let's go over our options. Just even though in your mind you're like, I don't want him to go to the States. I think that's overreacting. But in the moment, they just found out, okay, well, let's assess our options. Let's go through our options and make a determination after that process. Buy some time. You don't need to, draw a line in the sand right away.
አርያ ቪንዶ ህክምና እዚህ ኢትዮጵያ ውስጥ አለመፈለጓ በጣም ነው የሚያናድደኝ። ያው በአገሬ ዶክተሮች እኔ በጣም እተማመናለሁ። ምናልባት እሷ ላትተማመን ትችላለች።
Right, that was my suspicion, that I think he feels insulted, or he feels that she's not being rational regarding the Ethiopian medical science or medical ability, the abilities of medical professionals in Ethiopia. So, yeah, that makes sense. But, you could say that in the moment. Say, I feel like you're not really trusting the medical professionals here in Ethiopia when you don't have any reason to be that way.
My insurance will, pay for it, and he can be with my parents when he's having surgery. That might be the best option.
Yeah, okay. But how do you take care of each other during this time? That's the key. Let's see if they can do that.
I don't want to figure out, just if he's normal, just he says so many babies he's doing here surgery. He can do it here, I don't want to freak out, just think about it.
I'm trying not to freak out. I just got the news. I need a little bit of time to process it, all right?
Yeah, that's it. Just calm down.
Okay, I'm not mad at you. I'm just not happy about this.
Okay, good. She reaches out. I'm not mad at you. I'm freaking out. That's great. We've seen sometimes she can do this, sometimes she can't. So I'm glad she's able to do this. She is taking responsibility for her feelings. I'm freaking out right now. I'm panicking. And which makes total sense, by the way. I'm not mad at you. I'm just like, I'm wondering if we should, she could say, look, I don't feel safe in Ethiopia the way I feel safe in my home country. I don't know if that has to do with the safety of Ethiopia versus where I'm from, or it's just because I'm not familiar with Ethiopia. So when I have my kid, it comes down with something like this, I just have this instinct to run home, because that's where my safe place is. And maybe that's rational and maybe that's not. That's okay. And anyway, so she's reaching out. It's good. Let's see what he says.
I know Vinny's going to be very apprehensive about me wanting to go back to the U.S. because he can't go with me because of COVID. They closed the American embassy and they're not granting tourist visa appointments. He's already so traumatized from when his ex-wife and his son left for the U.S. and they never came back.
Right, great. So in the one-on-one interview, you're able to see how it could be triggering for him, absolutely. In the moment, maybe she can say that. Look, I know that you have trauma about your children being taken away from you. I would never do that to you. If I brought our child to the States for surgery, I'd bring the child back, 100%. So maybe she could say that to him to reassure him.
But as much as I want to do what's best for Vinny, ultimately I know I have to do what's best for Avi. If that means going to America, then that's what I'm gonna do.
Can we go?
All right, well, that does it for that episode. You can join the conversation with fellow fans by going to Discord or commenting below, or the Facebook fan page, or the subreddit, or the Instagram. The Instagram is mainly just for me posting pictures of my animals and me eating hamburgers with my wife, which is what we did the other day. Anyway, everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.